What's happening, SOBs? It's me, Clint, here for another Blood and Blades faction turn. Our stalwart game master, Jared Logan, has handed the reins over to me because he has had an adorable little child, Oscar, and his parents are visiting, and he's off being a family man. And I say we should let him. Those of you who say we shouldn't, you know, that's between you and your God. We're going to do as we do once a month, go through the various factions in our shared Blood and Blades universe, where we play Blades in the Dark by Game Master John Harper. And you, our subscribers, are assigned to various factions that have their own desires and insanity going on in the city of Duskfall. Let's see, is there any top of show business today? Oh, I know. Apologies that we have not been able to get a Tin Whistles score on the books. They are not gone. They're not going away. Our good pals at the Glass Cannon are just exceptionally hard to book because they have a lot of their own exciting stuff going on right now. Some of those partnerships are things that we are participating in, like our upcoming collaboration where we play the Dune RPG or the 5e D&D campaign that Jared is going to be running with them. But we love Blood and Blades. We love Blades in the Dark. We have other cool Blades content coming soon. The Tin Whistles will be back. There. So that at the top. Let us get started with our dirty business. But before we do, we actually are joined today. I'm not going to be completely solo. I decided to reach out and see if someone would like to sit in and provide color commentary to our turns today. And they were nice enough to say yes. So without further ado, the graphic designer, game designer, and all around bon vivant, please welcome John Harper. Hey, John.
Thank you for that amazing introduction. I appreciate it. It's good to be back on the show.
No problem. Very happy to have you back. Oh, good. I'm glad to see everybody's as excited as I was that you decided to sit in.
Hello, chat. Hello. Yes.
So, as we've done each faction turn, we will be visiting. Oh, first, the ground rules. We're going to go through the factions one by one. We will ask the chat if any of the assigned subscribers are present. They will sound off. And then they will decide which of them is going to roll on the various, choose and roll on the various clocks that are presented. If anybody, if they are unable to choose, or if we do not have any representatives, I will roll for them. Let's see, if the faction fills a clock, they can immediately roll on a second clock. And if a clock has not been rolled upon, it may disappear for the next faction turn. We shall see. Some clocks have disappeared, and you will see some new options today. A result of, you will roll as many dice as you have tier. A roll of one, a top result of between 1 and 3 lets you fill 1 segment, 4 and 5, 3 segments, a 6, 4 segments, and if you happen to get 2 6s, a critical, you will automatically fill an entire clock. It's cool, right?
It is very cool. I love that mechanic change. The critical fill is super good, and if you fill, you get to go on another one. Is like great. I love it. I think it's really, really, really good.
Well, you will immediately learn that our subscribers are ruthless and they roll well. So big things are afoot in this particular version of Duskfall. And here it is, the Empire and the city. Did you do the maps as well as the design of the book?
Yes, I did. Yep.
Incredible. Well, welcome to Duskfall, everybody. The first of our, let me get rid of our bug up here in the corner so it don't cover my map. The first of our Blood and Blades crews, a crew of smugglers from Coleridge, the Tin Whistles, the aforementioned. And they have some mixed relationships with various folks here in town. We're not going to go through everybody's status levels here. But a thing we've never done before is you can actually see where their neighborhood Coleridge is up here on the map in the top right corner. and our art director, Jill Petracek, has redesigned the faction turn for us, everybody, because the naive charm of my own clumsy design will be missed by no one. And we couldn't get John to do it for us.
Yeah, the new look is really cool. And I will say this Coleridge detail map I did, but all the other detail maps, which I'm guessing you also have, were done by Tim Denny, who's an amazing graphic artist.
Oh, that's right.
So, yeah.
Tim makes a lot of great content for the Blades game, and I should call him out more. The Kinahora, our crew from the Better Than Heroes channel, are shadows in Char Hollow. They are culturally Skovlan, and a lot of their missions are based around protecting the Skovlans in Skovlanders in the city. And a lot of the big moves happening in the city are based around what's going on with the Skovland population. I don't know how familiar you are with some of the terrible things we've done to the Skovlans in the Blood and Blades game.
I am familiar, yes.
Well, I apologize, and I take only slight responsibility. The subscribers voted for this, not I. And finally, the Weird Sisters. Living up to their name, assassins based in Night Market. And here on the channel, we play in the tone that the players do. So the Weird Sisters get to have some of the weirdest scores, which is fantastic.
There's definitely a lot of laughter during those streams, particularly with Bronze and her miniature town, which is really, really amazing.
Well, we had an idea of what we thought we knew who Lord Scurlock was until Bronze went and talked to him, and we learned a lot about who he was. All right, so we're gonna get started with everyone's and no one's favorite faction, the Blue Coats.
Boo.
Right? ACAB is thrown around. There it is already in the chat. ABCAB. Fantastic. Our subscribers controlling the Blue Coats are DC Peptimer, Pirehand75, Aslar3, and new to the faction, Nate BB. Sound off, Blue Coats. Who do we got in the chat? All right. Okay, looks like we've got some Blue Coats. Guys, go ahead and pick who's going to do your rolling, but let's talk about what's happened in past turns and what your current available clocks are going to be. So, a successful relocation of the majority of the Skovlan refugee population into a ghetto in Dunslow has been completed. This has probably had the largest effect on our city, although only recently have any of our players chosen to address it, chiefly the Kinahora. And the Blue Coats have also chosen to make some money by arresting and ransoming scoundrels back to their crews for coin. So the Blue Coats will be a little more flush with coin than they might have been otherwise. Only Bastards. Lightly mentioned, right? They're the worst. Lightly mentioned here, the Blue Coats also have an interior conspiracy called the Right, who are the people behind this Skovlan relocation. So that's the big stuff that's going on right now with their Blue Coats.
That's definitely a thing in the setting that is mentioned as a kind of potential issue in the city with the refugee population and how they're being treated. And it's always interesting to see which groups focus in on that. And going back and watching the beginning of the Kinahora, obviously, as they were setting up their crew and making it this very like Skovlan oriented thing, I could see that train coming, and it's really great that they've engaged with it.
It was really, really fun to watch how Aaron Uris, the player in the Kinahora, decided to give it a very sort of old world Jewish feel, which has completely reflavored who the Skovlans are for us, and has been really, really fun.
It's really good.
Well, all right, Blue Coats, the big thing that's happening for you, the biggest clock for you to fill, and one you've already tackled, is the fact that the Inspector General of Duskfall has decided to root out corruption in the ranks, which is not an easy job. It'll take him some time, which also means stopping him also isn't particularly easy either. But you've already gone after it. We'll see if you want to pursue that further. Additionally, since riots have recently broken out, some of the Bluecoats have said they wanted to procure some riot stopper hulls. This is a Jared Logan creation because I think he wants to bring out some mechs to fight our good guys, which I'm totally okay with.
Nice.
And the sort of one of the members of this conspiracy, Judd Cooper, the Bluecoats would like to scapegoat him to protect the entire conspiracy. That is an easy option for the Bluecoats to go after, only for, and would protect that conspiracy by throwing someone to the wolves. If you want to protect that portion of your storyline, guys, that is an option. So let's go ahead and let you guys roll on this. Looking to the chat here, who would like to, one, which clock are we rolling on? And two, who's rolling for it? I will then go over the mechanics for rolling in the chat. Looking in the chat, sound off. Which one are we going for? Guys?
Yeah, chat. Militarization of the police. What a concept, huh?
Yeah.
Art imitating life here.
Well, that's one of the clocks that you had in the book, actually, is that they want to procure military arms, and that one of their main enemies are the Imperial military in the city, which I think is great. We've only lightly dealt with the Imperial military in our game. They will come up in some clocks later. So, because we don't see Nate here, who's going to vote, DC, please choose a clock and vote. He's going to vote for Riot Stoppers. Okay, so you are a tier 3 faction. So to roll here, it'll be exclamation point, roll, space, 3d6. And that will give you an auto roller in the chat. Quick, guys. We can do this. Oh, here we go.
All right.
You see is rolled. And a 5. So that's a solid result. 4 of the 6 blocks will be filled. Let me make a note. +4 for Riot Stopper hulls. Very good. I think everybody wanted to see a 6 there to fill that one up, but it's okay.
Yeah, I think so too.
But it's coming. It's coming. All right.
Maybe they'll get a like a prototype early delivery or something to test before the real order shows up.
Well, the thing I think about it with a option like that is once the hulls show up, you still have to put a spirit in them, right?
You do
volunteer, like
yeah,
not a job I would ask for.
No.
I think what they do is they go find cops from ages bygone and stick their spirits in there.
Yeah. I'm sure the spirit wardens can be dealt with. Maybe they probably have some secret vaults where they don't destroy all their spirits they're supposed to, or something along those lines.
There's a very active spirit trade, which the Dimmer sisters are doing very well in our particular game for. Also doing very well, and this one I really want to talk to you about. The Circle of Flame, controlled by Alyssa, A. Cornejo, Bono Obo, and Dr. Hue, have made some big moves as well. The biggest of them being they filled a clock that when we filled it, I reached out to ask you, we don't know what this means. And you did a good job of telling us what it meant in your game, and we decided to make some slight changes. The Circle of Flame have acquired all of the artifacts of Qatar, which all we know is they are from the previous age of this world, right? And they are a eye, a hand, and a heart. we decided to make them into weapons. We decided to get really Dragonlance-y about it. And Circle of Flame apparently wanted them to destroy them. Why? I would like to know that, but we need our players to address it. But it also, this was our opportunity to maybe get out of Duskfall and explore some of the other portions of the Empire.
Yeah.
So the quest to destroy the Bow of Qatar would take them to Wintercliff. The quest to destroy the Axe of Qatar to Blackvale. But also in our world, a key member of the Seven, the council that controls the Circle of Flame, the diplomat, what's her, Irulan, I believe? No, Avrathi, diplomat Avrathi, was exiled from the city. She, through political powers being brought to bear, she was forced out, leaving an empty seat on the Seven, which the Dimmers have actively been pursuing.
I don't think the Aruvians are going to be very happy with their diplomat being kicked out of town. That's
couldn't imagine.
Major political fallout on that one.
And the fact that the Circle of Flame did not do anything to protect her is also an interesting storyline we might pursue. But instead, we're going to let a dirty old woman take her seat, which is just how I happen to picture the Dimmers.
They're sweet and kind grandmas that bake cookies for people. It's totally fine. Don't even worry about it.
Some of them have names, but we can't seem to tell them apart in our game yet. Irulan is the one chosen to put as their seat and representative on the Seven. So, looking to the chat now, with these are options, I'm assuming we're going to want to finish this clock to seat Irulan Dimmer. But let's have our Circle of Flame sound off, and who is going to
I would think so. It seems like a strong move here to finish one and move on to something else.
Exactly. Yeah, like, play the dice, right?
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to get more done.
Exactly.
I'm looking out here, guys. Do we have any Dimmers handy? I'm looking for Alyssa. Alyssa, I've seen you in the chat.
Thought I saw somebody.
Right. All right.
Dimmer first.
One of our Dimmers.
Yep.
All right. So, all right. One of you Dimmers, give me a roll. Oh,
hey,
there we go. There it is. Big numbers and a filled clock. The Dimmers have successfully named Irulan Dimmer as their nominee to fill the vacant seat on the Seven. Filled. All right. What would you like to roll on next, guys? Because you filled a clock, you get to go again. Would you like to begin your quest to destroy the axe or the bow? I promise you that at least in Jared and I's mutual headcanon, there is a slight difference in these choices.
Nice. The axe next, eh?
Right. Let's do it.
I mean, destroying an ancient artifact that may have been used to destroy demons in the past it's probably pretty straightforward, right? You just sort of like hit it with a hammer or something. It's probably no big deal.
One does simply walk into Mordor. All right, come on, Circle of Flames. Somebody give me a 3d6 roll. There it is.
Hey, there it is.
We got a 5. Excellent. So that is here we go.
4 ticks, is that right?
Destroy the X. Let's see. I think 4 is if you rolled a 6. So this is 3, right?
3.
Let me think about it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
To destroy the axe. Great. So it's funny you mention what one might have used these artifacts for, because demons are becoming a bigger problem in this game, and maybe seeking out these weapons was done for a reason.
Yeah,
something to think
maybe
about,
so.
Everybody.
Imagine that demons becoming a problem. I mean, these things do happen.
I mean, demon's such a loaded word.
That's true. That's true. The game takes a pretty neutral stance, I think, about them. So you can play those demons however you want.
That's true. The difference between the gods and the demons and the ghost, everything sort of interacts in a pretty nebulous way. You can make a lot of decisions yourself at the table. Well, speaking of people who operate in a nebulous way, our beloved Dimmer sisters, who we will be going in and figuring out how Irulin's nomination has affected their standings. We don't actually bring up everybody's holds, weak or strong, here in the faction turn, but we are tracking them in the background, everybody. So looking for Thursday, Indigo Stitch, Fumbles McStupid, and our new member of the Dimmers, Jim. And I see Jim is here. Jimtopia, Lord of the Gyms. Here is what's been going on with the Dimmers. Very early on, they participated in removing one of the 7 from the Circle of Flame to their own ends, and that has worked out well. In a sort of side storyline, the Imperial military had placed a bounty on Deathland Scavengers that had entered the city. The Admiral Brance was the person who had placed that bounty, and the Dimmers, working very closely with the Deathland Scavengers, because it's where they get a lot of the spirits they use in their spirit trade, decided, fuck that guy, and placed a curse on Admiral Brance. So things are getting easier for the Deathland Scavengers in a lot of ways as we will get deeper into this faction turn. Folks will see.
Nice.
Yes, pretty exciting, actually, because the Dimmers are also about to successfully petition for audience with the Golden Ox. The Golden Ox is a creation of ours, John.
Yep.
Good. So you're aware. I will share it with any viewers who were not. One of our players in the Tin Whistles, Ross Bryant, decided that there was a group of sort of like a Masonic order of laborers who had been abusing the Dagger Islanders, who he was close with, and he called them the Oxbacks, and so they became a sort of Masonic cult who worship a god of the working man called the Golden Ox. And they've had a lot going on in the background. The Tin Whistles need to come back to address some of that, especially because apparently they're going to be teaming up with the Dimmer sisters pretty soon. Here's a new one for you guys. The Dimmer sisters would like to collaborate with the Foundation to build a new sorceress structure in Charhollow. The Foundation is only lightly described in the book, John. Did they show up much in your games as you ran them?
Not very much, no. We created them kind of for the same reason that the Golden Ox seemed appealing. Like, we thought, well, there must be some kind of pseudo-Masonic thing right. in an as industrialized city as this, plus a place where you're very limited in your area to build. Right. Very clever constructions and more vertical constructions and that kind of stuff would be desirable. And you could imagine people like that wielding some power politically or having traditions that stretch back a long way and all that kind of Masonic stuff. So, yeah, I felt like it had to be mentioned somewhere, that this acknowledgement that that kind of stuff must exist. But it never came up much in our developmental games, so they didn't get fleshed out very much.
Well, they're a powerful faction, tier 4, as described in the book. A powerful ancient order of artifacts and builders. Many of their enemies have disappeared behind the brick and mortar of Duskfall. So if you wanted to build a sorceress structure, it might be a good place for the Dimmers to start. The Dimmers, only tier 2, are making big plays in the city. And finally, the Dimmers are still trying to locate an item that they hope to get their hands on in the very first session of the Kinahora, a Skovlin book called the Sephiroth Sidarum, currently in possession of the Kinahora. The Dimmers know it's out there. They simply don't know who's holding it. But once they do, the Dimmers are becoming an increasingly big problem for a tier 1 faction like the Kinahora.
Yeah, well, it also looks like the tier 2 Dimmer sisters might not be tier 2 for very much longer. They think they might be moving up.
Sure, they've allied themselves with the Circle of Flame, now potentially the Oxbacks, and the Foundation. That's a very powerful allies for a tier 2 group. So I suspect you're right. They won't be tier 2 much longer. And they've secured their ties to the Deathland Scavengers as well. So the once modest Dimmers are looking to change that. Looking here at the chat now, which clock are we going to roll on, and which of our Dimmer sisters will do the rolling? I think Jim is our newest member. Let's see. I'll finish off petitioning the Oxbacks, then Jim is rolling next. Okay. Fumbles, let's have you roll just for fun. I know you can't fail.
Can't fail, but that's always fun to roll dice, right?
People love to do it. And that did it. So nice. We have
you didn't waste a 6 on it.
Yeah, that's basically what we're looking for, right? Excellent. The petition of the Oxbacks is successful. And Jim, you would like to roll on which? Oh, Jim, you're rolling next on which one? Let's see.
A tough call on this one. They're both good. Although locating the book is within reach, you know, if you want to, if you want to go for, oh, here we go.
Or Jim's rolling on building the structure, and he rolled a 1 and a 2. That's okay. Even a low roll is still progress.
Still progress.
+1 on our sorceress structure.
Something that comes up sometimes when people talk about clocks and blades is the sort of narrative component, which obviously, you know, during the faction turn, we're not doing that. That's all going to come out from Jared on the stream. But it is something to always remember. Like, it can feel bad, like number wise as a player sometimes, to go, oh, I only got 2 ticks on that, but it still happens. You know, exactly. If we were playing on camera right now in the role play part of the game, we'd get to see that in the fiction somehow. You know, characters would meet and talk, things would change, things would be delivered somewhere. You know, there would still be this like stuff we could engage with. I think it's always important to remember that it's not just when it finishes that suddenly just sort of springs to life, that there's every tick along that clock is something fictionally that's happening to the characters.
It's on its way, exactly. And it's one of the big conversations Jared and I have as we plan the sessions, to the degree to which you can plan one of our Blade sessions, is Jared is very, very good about making certain that things stay player focused. And these clocks are really, really fun because it lets Jared and I sort of move the pieces around the board along with our subscribers. But the players end up playing our games, and will end up, the scores that they pursue will frequently change these clocks as well.
Yeah, totally.
Whereas I could sit here and just play with the players and be like, oh, like, let's play a game of chess where we move the entire city around.
Yeah, I mean, you could come up with your own like play-by-post faction game for Blades and just sort of, you know, machinate everything. And
I would love it.
That'd be fun.
Make a calendar for the year and put a few big events on it, and then let people play around.
Yeah,
countdown to something. We'll move on to our next clock, or our next faction. So this is like one of my favorite factions, but they didn't get a full write-up in the book, so forgive me, but I wrote this one. John, I hope it feels like ink rakes to you. What happened here was we originally had the Foghounds as a subscriber faction in the game, and the Foghounds were destroyed to a man.
That has happened. That happened in our game, our development game, when we were first playtesting. It happened in another game I ran long after that. It happened in a game, a stream game I was watching. The Foghounds just get fucking destroyed everywhere.
Guys.
I don't know. They just they got no luck.
Well, the Foghounds like killed to a man, but they fought like tooth and nail. It was not easy.
Wasn't there a survivor last time? I think I watched one of these. There was still one person left, wasn't there?
So all three of the named NPCs of the Foghounds were dealt with.
Gotcha.
I believe I forget the name of the leader of the Foghounds, a woman, but I think she'd just been driven irrevocably insane. I take it back. She was insane and then had her throat slit, so she was definitely killed.
Wow. Wow.
No problem. Because the players who play the Foghounds played it till the wheels came off, which is exactly how we like to see these games played.
Indeed. Indeed.
They were gifted with one of my personal favorite factions, the Ink Rakes. So
I'm very excited to see your custom made faction here. This is great.
Oh yeah, yeah, I like it too. I got a newsie in there. I got a gossip columnist.
These names are super good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was particularly proud of Cornwallis Foscalo.
It's so good.
So I see a number of our ink rakes in the chat here. Guys, decide amongst yourselves who's going to roll while we look at your options. You were gifted with 6 clocks the first time. You're now down to the normal 3 that we give everybody else. You were so close to publishing an expose on the Spirit Wardens, but it was a horse race. The Spirit Wardens had their own clock to stop you, and they filled their clock before you did. So that expose, which revealed the names of the secretive and faceless Spirit Wardens, was smothered in the crib. But there's other stuff going on. For instance, one of the publishers amongst the Ink Rakes, who are less a faction and more of a coalition of people all working in the same industry who thus have some of the same problems, so they work together.
Yeah.
One of them is secretly working with the Bluecoats. The Bluecoats are no fans of the Ink Rakes. They're one of their key enemies because they do not like to be written about in their papers. And so they have been roughing up various newsstands and newsies around the city. The Ink Rakes are talking about pooling their money to recruit bravos to protect their hawkers and their presses. And finally, word that there are demon cults within the Leviathan Hunters has leaked to the point that some investigative journalist within the Ink Rakes has gotten a whiff and knows he can look into it. We know this to be true from other sessions of the game. Lord Strangford was blackmailed by Lord Scurlock,
who may be the same person.
Who may be the same person because we got confused in one session and then we found a way to make it make sense.
I was telling someone about that the other day. I think it was maybe Sean Nintner, who loves to use Lord Strangford in his Blades games, and was a major character in one of our Blades games. And I just love that those two became sort of elided together. And once you said it, and I think it was one of these downtime streams, maybe. I just was like, oh, that's just so good, just to introduce that uncertainty with these two like very powerful people. It's great.
It needed to be a filled clock to untangle exactly what happened, but we did get there. Thank goodness.
Nice.
All right, so it looks like we've already got a roll here. I see that Griff, Texas Griff, has rolled, and we've got a 5. What I didn't see is which one he was rolling on. Sorry, guys. When I'm chatting, I'm not watching the chat.
Oh, yeah. They set up a little higher there.
Let's see. They want to uncover the publisher secretly working with Bluecoats. I think that's a great choice, guys. And 5 gets you much closer to that. So, from our Ink Rakes, we're going to begin looking for who your turncoat is.
Yeah, that's pretty dirty stuff. The press working with the fucking cops.
Yep, and
that's low.
And we've made our cops in this game particularly nasty, so it does not speak well of whoever this is. It's also very funny in our Discord to see the people playing the Bluecoats talk about it, and they feel terrible about the awful things that they do. Which,
well, good. They
guys,
should.
Good on you. Yeah. And moving on to our next faction, the Lost. the Lost are a really interesting one. They're maybe the least bad guys of all these sort of factions, but are still rubbing against our player factions our player crews in a way that might turn violent at some point. So our subscribers for the Lost are Nick, Colonel Panic, The Rose's Grave, Twist84, and new subscriber player Use the Forceps. So right? Pretty good.
Hilarious.
So guys, let's look at what you've done previously. Not shown here in Resolve Clocks, but a thing that you did that I appreciated is you did destroy a cruel workhouse at some point. And you managed to free members of the Lost from Ironhook Prison, which included the leader of the Lost, Cortland, who's back out on the streets for now.
I like the clocks that say ongoing, especially when they're player or chat facing in this case, because you can just put it back up, right? You're like, oh, you want to destroy cruel workhouses? Cool, you did one. Now you have this other thing you want to do, but also there's another cruel workhouse to be destroyed. Oh, and then another one, and another one, and another one.
Yes, the reoccurrences are nice to have. So here's a fun one Jared came up with. Jared's like, it'd be fun to have a heist. So guys, here's an opportunity if you want to do one. Nice. The Lost are talking about organizing robbing the Knights' receipts from the Vale nightclub and giving money to the citizens of Coleridge. A real Robin Hood caper.
Yeah, definitely a pretty good haul from a fancy place like that.
Yeah, and not super hard to do because the Lost are actually on their way up. They are very close to replacing Ulf Ironborn as the bosses of Coleridge, meaning
very interesting.
Yes, especially because Ulf is also on his way up. But our players need to pay up to the bosses of the districts where they work. So currently they're paying up to Ulf. They would begin paying up to the Lost.
Yeah, very interesting. And from the Kinohora angle too, a change of leadership there is very interesting.
Yeah, the people who like and dislike Ulf are a surprise to me. And finally, there must be a Whisperer 3 within the Lost because they're talking about recruiting the shades of those killed in workhouses, which they'd have to do quick. They got to pick them up before the Spirit Wardens do. But
yeah,
the workhouses are terrible places to work, so I imagine it generates a ghost or two.
Every yeah, it's a ghost factory. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I'm not even going to speculate there. I that would be saying too much.
All right, so looks like Rose's Grave is going to do our rolling. Is that right? And on which of our clocks shall we go? Let me know what we're rolling on and give me a roll, guys. We're ready. All right. So rolling on recruiting shades. Very cool.
Nice.
And on one die, a 6. Nicely played. That is a filled clock. That's a heavy hit. No, excuse me. Not a fully filled clock.
A crit is a filled clock, right?
A crit is a filled clock, but
yeah,
+4.
Yeah.
Big move. Lost.
Very, very nice. Yeah, crit would be great when you only get to roll one die. You're kind of out of luck on that one.
Recruit some shades. Yes, the Lost are growing, and apparently not just with physical members, but immaterial ones potentially as well. I mentioned that because one of these storylines that will be coming up very soon, I'm sure, is the fact that the Lost have added members from their Ironhook breakout mean that they share a rail yard with the Tin Whistles, and there ain't room for everybody anymore.
Nice.
Yeah. Moving on, the Ministry of Preservation are rolling the biggest dice of all of our factions, controlled by Clancy Noct, Shaka When the Walls Fell, and Ectoplasmics. This one's interesting. It's one of our non-criminal organizations, right? So I read the Ministry of Preservation a bit like they are the lifeblood of the city, and that they connect all of the cities of the empire. Is that fair?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Well,
yeah, it's a logistical nightmare to have these little pockets of civilization connected by train, and have to like load balance the stuff across all those different places. Kind of how I see them, and obviously like a rife opportunity for corruption and graft and privilege and all those things that go along with that.
They have all this responsibility, but they may as well get more power while they're at it, because they're very close to seizing control of the goddamn Leviathan hunters, which feels destabilizing. So I imagine it's about to happen.
I would put it that way. I mean, who knows what they're going to choose to do, but if for some reason the one of the last areas of power that noble families can claim is just taken over by the government,
right.
You know, that happens in the world. The death of nobility and owning things by birthright and stuff could just go away completely.
And the nobles will, I'm certain, not go down quietly. They will find new allies.
I wouldn't think so.
So the ministry is quite close to, sort of in our canon here, the idea here is the ministry gained some proof that Lord Strangford, who is sort of the top dog amongst the Leviathan hunters, was compromised and working with Lord Scurlock. That evidence was something that could possibly have been seized and destroyed. Maybe no longer. We'll see when we get down to Lord Scurlock. But so another option here is they can appeal to the Immortal Emperor to revoke Lord Scurlock's immunity. What immunity, you ask? I'm curious to see if John has any ideas, but I think our current headcanon is Lord Scurlock is one of the rare immortals walking the earth from this earlier era of the world. So his relationship with the Immortal Emperor doesn't appear to be friendly, but at the very least, in a Highlander sense, they have decided to tolerate one another. That may end. If they are able to. Right.
Just to be clear, there is no canon here that I have to impart to anyone. It's what it is in your game. That's what's true.
Right.
But yes, Scurlock definitely is a character that has appeared in older things, different games even, and is someone that I always think of as in an immortal sense. So yeah, we're on the same page there for sure.
Sure.
And yes, apparently they kissed, Chad is saying, which is even better. So they may have
that's also true.
Tempestuous romantic past as well. That's always good.
It appears to be the only kind Scurlock has in this game, because his early clock was to revive his lady love for Cynthia, who, upon being revived, immediately left him.
Of course.
And broke his heart.
Actually, Sean Nittner wrote a really fun little one-shot. I shouldn't say little. It's actually really cool and more complex, but it's at his website, seannittner.com/blades in the dark, or you can find it on the Blades website too. We've changed the name so many times. Broken Spire, Shattered Crown. I don't know. You'll find it. But it's a one-shot about assassinating the Immortal Emperor.
That's great.
You play a crew that's in a position to do that, and you figure out why they can. And it touches on some of these old, like pre-cataclysm ideas and things that may have happened to these people long ago, and it gives you a chance to author some of this fun stuff like Scurlock is here. It's great. It's a super fun one shot.
Well, some clocks today may determine exactly what the relationship between Scurlock and the Immortal Emperor are in our game, but I would love to see what Sean has come up with.
Let me actually get the correct name for that while you're doing the business here.
No problem, because our last clock is find assassins who operated in Ministry headquarters. This was a clock that had appeared previously, but it was, I believe, 6 or 8 progress pieces. It's dropped to 4 because the Weird Sisters are a particularly unsubtle crew. So it's easier to find them because of the actions of players. So there's an option you might also pursue. I understand getting rid of Lord Scurlock sounds fun, but in the short term, if you just want to get rid of some unruly and particularly strange assassins, that is also
it's so option. Tough. They're so close to seizing the Leviathan Hunters. It's such a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. Clancy's saying first we would like to start with the Leviathan Hunters. I see you, Clancy. Let's do it.
Good luck. Let's get those 3 ticks. That'll be awesome.
Give me a roll. Oh, okay. All right. So +3 is all you needed. So there it is.
Yeah.
+3 successfully seized the Leviathan Hunters. God damn.
That's hilarious. Oh wow. That's
all right, guys.
That's amazing.
Lord Strangford has had a bad season.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy about that.
Maybe so previously Scurlock had to blackmail him, but perhaps now they can find another reason to team up.
Well, Sean Nittner will be very happy. He does not like Lord Strangford, so his characters do not like Lord Strangford. He'll be very happy. Oh, and it's called Broken Spire, Sean's one shot. I found it. That's the name we did end up settling on, and I'll put the link in the chat. I think I can post links maybe.
Awesome
for people who want to grab that.
Yeah, everybody go check it out. We're gonna make our own canon in this game, but no reason not to see what other cool ideas people have had.
It's great. It has a starting thing where you like design your own like history of those things and figure out what they mean and stuff. So it's great.
Fancy was correct that I should not be moving on because they filled a clock. So
yes, right.
Let's get the second clock for the ministry. I apologize, guys. So
yeah, I mean, you could get assassins if you roll high enough and move and go on to the third one. Like this could be a clean sweep for the ministry.
And it has happened. It happened last time. The Scavs had a real crazy run. So give me a roll.
Oh boy.
Oh, there it is. Oh, a crit. You didn't need it, but you got it.
Need it, but yeah.
Wow.
That's a filled clock.
All right. So canonically, the Ministry of Preservation knows exactly where to find the assassins who operated within their headquarters. Boom. I guess we know what's happening next Weird Sisters session, everybody.
Yeah. Sorry, Weird Sisters. You're in trouble.
Let us move on to the Spirit Wardens, controlled by.
Wait, so do they get to roll for a third clock now, or is it just?
Oh wait, one? Yes, of course they do.
What they do? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow, they're already doing it. They're just going,
and they've already done it, and they got a 6. So,
nice.
And a +4 pieces to appeal to revoke Scurlock's immunity. Boy,
if only they'd been in the other order, you would have batted the cycle there.
Yikes!
Nice.
Okay,
nicely done.
Folks controlling Scurlock, keep an eye on that. You might want to do something about it. All right. Now we'll move on. Apologies, guys. Now the Spirit Wardens.
The ministry, we want to move on. They're just bullies with their 5 dice, just smashing everything. Like, come on. Let's get back to some underdogs. Oh, right, the Spirit Wardens, of course. Yeah, never mind. Right. No underdogs here.
The Spirit Wardens, I think of like the coolest garbage men in a fantasy setting, right? Like they make the city livable. Like if they went on strike, the city'd become quickly unlivable.
Yeah, it'll be terrible.
But everybody's got a problem with them.
Frequent Beef. I know that Frequent Beef.
I know that Beef as well. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Frequent Beef, JT Matthews 1, and Earl. Are any of you present? It's possible you're not. These are 3 busy guys.
It's true. More like famous beef. No wardens tonight, chat.
All right. It looks like we're shy wardens, which means I am going to let John choose what clock, and we will roll.
All right.
All right.
Nice.
Here's what's been going on with the Spirit Wardens. The Spirit Wardens have bred spirit hounds to patrol the ghost field as a successfully filled clock. They managed to squash the expose publishing the leaked identities of wardens, and they have been sheltering Deathland Scavengers from bounty hunters. It's possible that bounty will be lifted in the next session, but
seems like it might be.
Right? Although, why have they been doing it? There's some question about
that was
that
my question.
Yes.
Do we know how they stopped the ink Rakes from publishing? Was it intimidation or was it violence?
So there was quite a list. I believe 10 options were presented in the Discord by the players. And I don't recall which one they landed on, although I think they did decide by force in some respect.
Yeah, I kind of felt like maybe that would be the way it went.
Yeah, I mean, they're an intimidating set of folks.
They kept the ghosts of your family hostage. It's someone in chat said. All right. That sounds like the Spirit Wardens. Good job.
And I think that would be effective.
Yeah, I would think so.
But for all that, those effective choices, the Spirit Wardens are a faction infiltrated by another faction. So who's to know if their actions are even their own?
Indeed.
But there's been some talk about investigating who those infiltrators are. A light bit of interest has been evidenced. But maybe more enticing is the fact that a black pyramid has appeared in the ghost field of the city. An entire city block-sized building has appeared within the ghost field.
Spirit Wardens are playing control, and they've discovered the board of directors. No,
it's there for them. If who knows? Who's to say? Let's investigate the Black Pyramid. Maybe it's beneficial. Who's to say?
Sure, giant black pyramids in the ghost field are generally like helpful entities that are going to help. Yeah, sure.
Friendlier, and it feels out of character for the Spirit Wardens, but they've been taking in Deathland Scavengers. The Deathland Scavengers, by virtue of another filled clock, which we'll discuss earlier, have created a successful trade route in and out of the city and have been making a fair bit of coin from it. And it looks like the Spirit Wardens are trying to take a cut. Why would they try and do that? It doesn't feel like a garbage man-y thing to do. But I promise you, we'll find a good reason for it.
They are extremely well funded by the powers that be. They don't really need to skim from somebody else. But like you said, they may not be in charge of their own faction. We don't know.
Exactly right. Not every clock presented is going to be to their benefit because they're an infiltrated group.
Yeah. Oh, this is very interesting. So, because of your system here, it's enticing to go for the 4 o'clock and hope to get lucky.
And likely to happen,
I wonder
dice.
how chat does this. Do you all role play here? Do you try to embody the faction and think about what they would do, or do you play more meta and kind of like go for the clocks that you're most excited about?
I love watching everybody in the Discord where they very much are role playing.
They're role playing. Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's my inclination too, is to like play the faction, think about what they would be doing. Embodiment. Okay, I like that too, chat. Let's think about that. So pretending that there aren't infiltrators making this decision, which is possible. I could role play the infiltrators, I suppose, but let's think about the Spirit Wardens themselves and how they might distribute their resources and personnel and stuff. This is a tough one though, because uncovering infiltrators has got to be like job one under normal circumstances.
Once you know there are infiltrators, it's hard not to, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you've got to go for it, unless a giant black pyramid appears in the ghost field all of a sudden, and then are you really just going to be like, no, we'll deal with that later. We got to deal with these infiltrators. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, pyramid, very sus. However, I think my roleplay mind is thinking we've made some progress. We are unraveling the thread of the infiltrators. Yep. The pyramid is a new thing. We haven't touched it yet. We haven't kind of done anything, but we have at least a hook into this mystery of who's infiltrated the Wardens. So
that's right.
You know, if I'm the Spirit Warden chief, I forget what title I gave that person, but you know, I want a report on my desk tomorrow. You know, give me names. Sure. That's what I want. I want to uncover those infiltrators. Yeah.
Well, we're thinking, you know, 70s cop movie, so it's the commissioner, right?
The commissioner, right? Yeah, I think I gave him some crazy title like Grand Warden or something like that, but I forget what it is.
There's the Bluecoats, and then the inspectors are a branch of the Bluecoats, or are they a separate thing?
They're a separate thing. They are and they were initially in our first games, they were thought of as kind of like the FBI, but over time and learning more about investigators and policing and stuff through history, now I think of them more as kind of these independent operatives that are given these imperial mandates directly from the emperor and their sort of court. So there's kind of these untouchable. They're outside the corrupt policing systems and all that. They kind of stand apart from all those systems.
Sure, it's a traveling judge.
Yeah, kind of. Yes, that's a good way to think about it. Yeah, and just granted these broad, sweeping powers, but they're just kind of this lone person that has to lean on locals and stuff to actually get things done. But they're kind of like be outside the normal system of corruption, and they can't be bought, and all those kind of things.
Which is why one of them could root out corruption within the Bluecoats. So think about that, Bluecoats.
Yeah,
there's somebody with broad imperial powers overturning your apple cart.
Yeah. Yep.
So
that's what they
uncover
do.
The infiltrators is your vote. Is that what we're going for?
Uncover the infiltrators. Yes, that's my vote. Yep.
All right. Let's see what we get. A 5. Not bad.
Oh, there it goes. A 5. I'll take it.
All right. So, Wardens.
Halfway there.
Yep. Things have been learned.
Yeah.
Excellent. And
try to take your mind off the Black Pyramid for now.
Yeah, that's right.
It's fine.
It's just fine. Yeah. Don't do that. Don't attune, and it's not a problem.
Maybe if we ignore it, it'll go away.
Lord Scurlock, fan favorite, controlled by Greggles, Mogiller, Feral Cat, and Connor. Lord Scurlock, dark, dangerous, romantic. There's a lot going on with this guy. And a man dedicated to the demon Satara, who is attempting to be risen, but currently is pinned in the bay by some lancets, which apparently replaced long ago by the Immortal Emperor for some reason. Here we go.
I wish I could take the half hour it would take to explain the context of the original pre-Blades in the Dark game. That involved the person who played the character who became the Immortal Emperor and the person who played the character who was devoted to Satara, and just how perfect that storyline in your game is. It's beautiful. It's so good. It's so
sheer
good.
Happenstance, but I love hearing it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Well, Lord Scurlock, dedicated to Satara, although maybe not Satara's favorite because he was unable to have him risen from the bay. He did locate the missing lancet of Satara. He located it when the Kinahora reinserted it in Satara's body. So I wouldn't call it success. The Lord Scurlock is quite close to finding the assassins who stalled the rise of Satara. So I wouldn't call them assassins. It's the Kinahora. But he's quite close to knowing exactly who has forestalled the rise of Satara. This is a Jared Logan idea that I'm quite fond of. In his heartbroken state, Lord Scurlock created a plan to create a monstrous geist from 100 wicked souls.
I love it.
The kind of thing you do when you're heartbroken.
Yeah, what else are you going to do? I mean, you write poetry for a while, and then you go right to building the monstrous guys.
That's it. But maybe more politically important at the moment, because Lord Scurlock, learning he is quite close to losing his immunity, thinks a sojourn to the Imperial City to prevent interference by the Immortal Emperor may be an important thing to do. So that would actually take Lord Scurlock
very interesting.
We have thoughts about this. It doesn't take him out of the game, but in the short term, it might have Lord Scurlock traveling. Now, I think it's safe to say finding out who stalled the rise of Satara will be the first move, but looking in the chat, who's going to be doing our roll? Let's do a for funsies roll just to fill that clock. I'll remind you, we're looking for Greggles, Mojiller, Feral Cat, or Connor. Who wants to roll for us? If nobody's here, we will roll.
Sounds like Fairy's here, maybe, I think.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
There we go. There we go.
And boom, a big 6.
Got a 6. Nice.
All right. The Kinahora have been discovered. The Lord Scurlock.
Quit using the 6s. Yeah, chat, right? I know. Maybe we need even more homebrew here with like banking successes or something. I don't know. don't get too complicated.
About making it harder. Once you fill the clock and you roll a second time, I was going to remove one of your dice, but I thought it would.
Oh, that's cool. Right? I like that. Like, yeah, because you're stretching yourself thinner. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it this week, chat, but something to discuss in the Discord. But what would you like to roll on next? Fairy, you might be the only Scurlock in town, so you get to pick. Oh, next we're heading to the Imperial City. Let's do it.
Might get it done. You might get it done.
Might get it done.
I also like that it's called sojourn, not travel. That's an important distinction.
Yeah, he's fancy.
Oh no!
So it's a rough start to the trip.
A 2. Well,
a 2. That's okay. That's okay.
That's how it goes. You know, you have to. You want to take the slow train, brood more. Maybe get back into that poetry. You know, you don't need to be in a big hurry.
Traveling for vampires is never easy. Although vampires, I love the sort of redefinition of what a vampire is in Blades as well, because it lets you have all sorts of kinds of vampires. Under that umbrella, which is really fun.
That was part of the idea. There's so many different legends. Like, why don't we just put them all in a list, and you can have some of them and not others or whatever. Although Scurlock is so old, and given the way the rules work, it's probably likely that he's ticked all those boxes by now. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, there are a couple hundred years where it was blood, and then he moved on.
Yep.
Okay, well, good turn, Scurlockies. But the sojourn has begun. It's a race. Will you have your immunity revoked before you arrive?
Yeah.
Let us hope not.
Yeah.
Moving on. Ulf Ironborn. This one's super interesting. You will see Ulf Ironborn as presented in the book is tier 1, but Ulf has raised in tier in our faction play. Ulf controlled by Declan, Graw, pretty much and Shadow Kitty Hero. Ulf.
Yeah, that is by design. He's given that 4 o'clock to rise in tier so that as you start the game as tier 0 scoundrels, and maybe that's someone that's kind of within your grasp, he can just like immediately move up to give you that impetus, to give you a little bit of oh man, we're trying to get out of the hole here, and this guy's already like seasoned turf and stuff. So yeah,
somebody to chase. And the fact that Ulf is really having some frisson with the Lost, who look like they're likely to displace him in Coleridge, but he must have picked up not just some turf, but maybe even some warm bodies to rise in tier.
Yep.
He has resolved the clock, as we see, rise in tier. He also, no fan of the Lost, is willing to work with the Bluecoats in order to send the leader of the Lost, Cortland, back to Ironhook, just as another sort of stake in their heart. Without that leadership, it'll be hard for them to continue to gain power. But with his increase in tier, he also needs to make more money. So he's talking about establishing an illegal bookmaking operation. Not difficult to do. He's a more powerful gang now.
Nope.
And then finally, no matter how much money he makes, he really sticks in his craw that the citizens of Coleridge love the Lost and they hate Ulf.
What a shock.
There might be an opportunity here for Ulf to play the Hearts and Minds campaign.
Maybe. I mean, I like that it's at least 6 here. That's a tall order for him.
It's a tall order because almost everything the Lost do benefit other people, and everything Ulf does is shaking the nickels out of their pockets.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at, I think they say Shadow Kitty gets to roll, and what are you guys rolling on? Presumably Cortland. Is that right?
I think Cortland seemed like the one.
Right. Okay, so you're rolling 2 dice this time, guys. Not the one you've
been
rolling.
You've advanced. You get both. You can crit now.
Yeah. That's a big change.
Yep.
All right, Shadow Kitty is rolled.
There we go.
1 and a 3. That's okay.
Ooh.
Still.
Oh, is that enough?
Getting closer. Not enough, but
no, not enough.
It's getting us closer. Getting us closer. All right, Ulf. Nothing's ever easy for you, but you earn it.
I mean, are we really rooting for Ulf? I guess Shadow Kitty is, but
I largely root for Ulf because in these faction turns, Ulf really has been it's been hard Scrabble. Like it was only 4 progress clocks to rise in tier, but it took a couple turns to do it. Ulf is like really doing this by the skin of his teeth.
All right. Oh yeah, chat's on his side. He's got the underdog quality coming through. All right, nice.
Right. Moving on to the Deathland Scavengers, a super interesting faction.
Yes, I will be rooting for them for sure.
Yeah, well, they all the dice luck that Ulf hasn't had, the Deathland Scavengers have. So Miss MYK, Craig Shipman, and Jacob S. So
I recognize those names as well.
They have established a secret trade route into the city. They have recruited a gang of loyal hawkers within the city, so the things that they bring in from the Deathlands, they have people to sell for them. And their relationship with the Dimmers was really and truly established when they smuggled an ancient tome from the Deathlands, presumably from another time, to Ireland Dimmer. So hopefully we get to see some players interacting with the Dimmer sisters and find out exactly what this book is.
I gotta say, now that I'm looking at the screen, I've been doing some genealogy stuff recently and discovered that I'm descended from this British baronetcy called the Harpers, Harpurs. And one of my ancestors is Lady Alice Thorne.
Really? You discovered that after having a Lady Thorne?
I discovered that yesterday, actually. Lady Alice Thorne, and Lady Thorne, just a cool name. But sure. Yeah, I actually have an ancestor with that name, so it's kind of wild.
When the 2nd edition comes out and we see that the Deathland Scavengers are tier 5, we'll know what happened.
yeah, right, exactly.
Well, Lady Thorne wants to have some increased business with the Spirit Wardens and want to enter the city to meet the Master Warden. A dangerous thing for the leader of the Scavs to do. but she must think it's worth it because they're halfway to sneaking her in and into the office of the Master Warden. Then
that sounds pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So I always feel the need to explain things that are maybe not clear from these pages. So you'll see in the unresolved clocks, raise the alarm of increased demon activity in the Deathlands. They never chose to do it. So there is indeed something happening in the Deathlands, and it is not ghosts, it's demons. Maybe that's what Lady Thorn wants to talk about, but she's going to the Warden. Who's to say? So the inscribe arcane wards into the bases of the lightning towers. That is someone within the Deathland Scavengers says these lightning walls stop ghosts. They don't stop demons, but there's some old technology, some old magic we can perhaps inscribe into the bases of these lightning towers to make them a more effective deterrent for demons. That is a super not easy thing to do, especially if you're a Deathland Scavenger, who in our game we've decided have all been soul branded, which is why they can't just walk the streets. People can attune and see that you've been exiled from the city.
Nice.
So an incredibly difficult thing to do. If they just want to make money, however, they are working. Someone within these scavengers is working to distill the perfected thought essence formula. Jared and I's thought here is the thought essence formula is a drug or draught you can take, which allows you to experience the memories of a spirit. The perfected thought essence formula would allow you to live their entire life in near, from your perspective, real time minutes. Yes. So you would experience 50 plus years of someone's life.
It's the inner light from Next Generation.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I love that.
Right. So it's an 8 tick clock. Not easy to do, but also not impossible, and big money to be made if you can do it. So I'm now dipping into the chat again. Of our Deathland Scavs, who's going to be rolling, and I'm just going to presume that you're going to go after Lady Thorn first and try and fill the clock. Just
seems smart.
You're going to meta. I think Michelle's going to vote. All right, Miss MYK.
Yep.
All right. And you're voting. I see. Yep. Going to do Lady Thorn. 2d6.
Here we go.
2 and 2. All right. So that does not fill the clock, but
so close.
So close. Deathland Scavengers, you had a good round last time. Your luck couldn't hold.
They can't catch a break today.
That's right.
That's true. Look at those resolve clocks. You've gotten a lot done.
Yeah, a ton done. The Deathland Scavengers have gone from being sort of the refuse of the city, digging in the trash outside, to actually being protected by the Dimmer Sisters and the Spirit Wardens, and having a loyal gang of hawkers. There's a ton that's happened for.
Yeah, it's impressive for a lower tier faction.
And finally, guys. Oh no, not finally. The Wraiths. How dare I? The Wraiths are gentlemen thieves. I love the Wraiths. Controlled by Fancy, Whiskey Whiskers, and Lord Rustin Ironsmith, the most perfectly named gentlemen thieves we could have asked for. Here's what the Wraiths have been up to. There was a captain within the Bluecoats who wanted to go after the Wraiths. He was going to take them down, and they said, "Screw that guy." So they had him removed. That is, it's up to the players or the subscribers to decide exactly by what means. But I think, again, they decided to go with violence as opposed to
sure
anything more subtle than that. But more interestingly, the Wraiths have successfully secured an arcane ally, as Fancy Pants is calling him in the chat, their Demon Daddy. So Demon Daddy will want things, but he can also give you things, including our big 12 pie clock here. Establish a new headquarters inside the ghost field.
Oh yeah.
So the Wraiths were hard to find before. This will make them just that much more difficult to track down.
Mm-hmm.
The Wraiths know about the Lancets of Satara. They know that the Circle of Flame is holding all of them but one. And they might have a buyer because they had a plan at one point to steal them. But more immediately, the Wraiths have a stolen Leviathan map of the routes of the Leviathan Hunter ships. And they were going to hold a secret auction to sell it. That's the sort of thing that would allow, if you're the Ministry of Preservation, to probably, if you hadn't already filled the clock, get much closer to taking over the Leviathan Hunters. If you're somebody who wants to get in the middle of a change in power of the Leviathan Hunters, or just a royal family who has never had a hunter ship but wants to enter the business.
I just did an interview a couple days ago for a show that's coming out this summer, and we did a little like demo of Blades in the Dark, and their characters. They made characters real quick, and we did a little like few rolls of a scene. They were going to a secret auction that was selling a Leviathan Hunters map, and they were there to steal it during the auction. So
that's great.
That's in the zeitgeist. We're doing it.
I love an auction theft. That was our first Kinohora score.
So always that good.
Whiskey Whiskers has already rolled, and that fills the clock for Leviathan map. So that auction has taken place. The coin has entered the Wraith's hands. The question is, who bought the map? We will see. Wraith's filled auction clock. Right. And what are you rolling on next, guys? There's a little Wraith talk.
Yep.
We sold the thing we stole.
Well done. Well done. That's classic
right?
Gentleman Thief action there. Secret base, sounds like, maybe?
Secret base. All right. Go for the big one.
Yeah. I mean, 2 6s is all you need. Ooh.
No dice.
Not today.
But a 5. A 5. No one's going to turn their nose up at a 5. So, for Ghostfield headquarters.
I mean, what's better for a Gentleman Thief than to, flourish, presumably like drop a rose on the ground and disappear into the ghost field as they exit their score.
So romantic. Well done, Wraiths. Here we go. Moving on to another one of our created factions, or really the only truly created faction, the Oxbacks. The Oxbacks have filled a couple clocks last time, and nasty ones. They have sacrificed a noble of the city to the Golden Ox. Apparently, that's a thing the Golden Ox wants, is the blood of nobles as a god of the labor class.
Nice.
And they have been taking turf on the docks from the grinders. They don't yet control smuggling on the docks, but they did take some dock turf. And then, again, Jared's very excited about big plays. So we have added, in addition to raise and tier, which they might do, they can also try and assume control of the Forgotten Gods, which feels grandiose for a tier.
I don't know what that even means, but yeah, go for it.
I think the Golden Ox, so empowered with the blood of nobles, wants to place himself first among equals or even above his other forgotten gods.
Yeah. So does that clock represent like becoming the preeminent cult that rules over all the other cults, or does it represent taking control of the forgotten gods?
I don't believe that. Let's make these gods, right? So no, not take control of them, but I think becoming the preeminent cult amongst the Forgotten Gods faction, I think, is something that we could do.
Seems doable.
Before I go for that, I'm a more cautious player than Jared is. So I'm going to try and just control smuggling on the docks first.
I mean, you might get it.
I might get it, and then I'm going to try and raise in tier if we are so lucky. Let's see how we do, guys. Rolling 2d6.
Nope.
Nope. Not my day.
Not
my day. That's okay. So getting closer.
The grinders are not a pushover,
Not at all. And I don't know. In my head, the oxbacks are all like chubby stevedores. So I don't think of them as being able to go necessarily fully toe to toe. Who's to say?
Mitt Hanley, he can do it.
Yeah, look at Mitt, the war chief.
It's so good.
Guys, that was it. We did it. We've done a faction turn. And John, thank you so much for sitting in and providing the color commentary.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I am as you know, a huge fan of the Stream of Blood shows and the players and GM, and it's delightful to get to give my 2 cents here on the stream and watch how the sausage is made a little bit. It's great.
Well, allow me to make you uncomfortable by saying a thing Jared has said that I concur with, that Blades in the Dark is maybe one of the best design games the last 20 years. I believe that. So excellent work.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So imminently playable and fun, and the world is incredible. So thanks for giving us that.
Yeah, it's really just a starting point, and seeing what people do with it is the real joy for me. And this is a great exemplar for everyone else. I hope more and more people watch and see the speed and alacrity and pleasure that you all derive out of this, because it's really one of the best examples of how it's done, I think.
That's sweet of you to say. Thank you so much. I'm going to do some end of show business that I will not make you sit through, but thank you very much for dropping in.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. Guys, that was pretty cool, right? John rules. And great job. Again, I will go ahead and update the faction document and update it and set it to the Discord so everybody can track what's happened. And you will start to see some of these changes next Saturday when the Kino Horror return. I think they'll be surprised by a lot of what's happened this week, as will Jared. So great work there. Come back tomorrow. It's Vampires of Pittsburgh and our new chronicle, Reign in Blood. Reign of Blood, Reign in Blood. I forget what Jared named this thing. Whatever the Slayer album is what it's named after. And this is at the start of a new and perhaps the final chronicle of Vampires of Pittsburgh. So if you've not watched previously, it's a great place to jump in. And if you've been around since the beginning, you're going to see some big moves made. So stick around tomorrow, 10 a.m. for Vampire Church. Tuesday, the tasting menu at Taste of Blood is going to bring back the Neptune Society. We're kicking off Death May Die July, where for the next 3 weeks, we'll be telling a supersized Call of Cthulhu tale with new players, a dearly missed old favorite who I'm super excited for you guys to see, and the Eldritch Horror at the center of this was chosen by you, our channel subscribers, and you guys chose The King in Yellow. So for a play / entity that drives people mad, tune in this Tuesday at 7 p.m. and for the next 3 weeks for Death May Die July. Finally, we have merch, guys. Finally, you asked for it for a long time, and I'm very excited about it. I should have worn some. I'm wearing a Kids in the Hall shirt instead. But please go to streamofblood.threadless.com and get our merch. We love when you guys send us photos of yourselves wearing the merch or drinking out of the mugs or any of that stuff. If you do and you give us permission, we'll put it up on our social medias. We are a podcast. Check it out. Currently, the stream is doing Vampires of Pittsburgh, but we'll be adding new shows soon. Blades in the Dark is by John Harper and Evil Hat Productions. The original music is by Axel Casas Taylor. Follow us on all of our socials. We are Stream of Blood or _ Stream of Blood _ everywhere. We have a public Google Calendar where you can see the shows coming up. We have Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, but the absolute best place to talk to us is on our Discord. Stream of Blood's Server of Blood. You can see the invite for that in the chat here or on YouTube in our description. Thanks to Brian Baldinger, our producer, Jared Logan, who is not here today, our social media manager, Megan Arch, our podcast producer, Andrew Strother, our YouTube content producer, Matt Moynihan, our logo, animations, and our whole new look, and our new faction turn design, all by our art director, Jill Petracek. Thank you very much, Jill. And thanks to John Harper for coming in and doing this with us, guys. I asked him last minute, and it was really, really fun to see that he is as delighted by your choices as we are. So thanks again, and come back tomorrow for Vampires of Pittsburgh. Bye-bye.